Mind Reset. Declutter your life and refresh your brain. Written and published by Sonic Tome. You've felt it, haven't you? That heaviness in your chest, the clouded thoughts that seem to hang over every part of your day, the constant pull of responsibilities, notifications, and endless distractions, the way your mind can never quite settle, like a storm that refuses to quiet. Life has become a series of tasks and to-dos, each one stacking on top of the other until you're buried beneath a mountain of noise. But what if you could push all of that aside, if just for a moment, and breathe again, clearly, deeply, with purpose? What if there was a way to untangle the knots in your mind, to declutter not just your space but the very core of your being? Imagine a life where every choice you make comes from a place of clarity, where your energy flows freely toward what truly matters, and where the weight of external pressures doesn't drown out your inner voice. It's not about eliminating everything, not about a complete overhaul, but rather learning how to cut through the chaos, to step back and reset, to create an environment, internally and externally, that nourishes and protects the peace you so desperately crave. Because true freedom begins when we stop running on autopilot, when we decide that the cycle of noise, distraction, and overwhelm no longer serves us. In that moment, we make a choice, to live intentionally, to clear the mental clutter, to hit reset on the life we've been running, and to start living with a fresh sense of purpose. This is not a dream or a vague possibility. It's a process you can actively engage with, right now. The journey toward that reset isn't a far-off destination. It's a shift you can begin today. And as you make that decision to step out of the chaos and into clarity, you'll discover that peace and simplicity are not just ideals, they are very much within your reach. All it takes is the courage to begin. Chapter 1. The Noise Around Us. Picture your mind as a serene lake at dawn, with water so still that it mirrors the sky above. Now imagine a ceaseless barrage of pebbles, some large, some small, being hurled into it. Each pebble disrupts the calm, creating ripples that collide, twist, and distort. The lake loses its reflection, and clarity is replaced by chaos. This is what modern life does to your mind. Every notification, task, and external demand acts as a pebble, disturbing the stillness you didn't even realize you were missing. The noise isn't just external, it seeps inside. It's the to-do lists that multiply in your mind, the expectations you internalize, the endless loop of thoughts that keep playing when you're trying to sleep. This noise convinces you that productivity equates to constant action, that being busy is synonymous with being valuable, and that quiet is a luxury rather than a necessity. But pause for a moment. When did life become this loud? Was it the advent of technology, where screens became our windows to the world? Was it the societal shift that glorified multitasking and reduced rest to laziness? The answer doesn't matter as much as recognizing that the noise around us is relentless, and our acceptance of it as normal is what gives it power. The first step is recognizing that this clutter isn't inevitable. Just as you can tune an instrument to produce harmony, you can also tune your life to filter out the unnecessary. Begin by identifying the sources of this noise. They could be digital distractions, a habit of overcommitting, or the constant influx of information that floods your mind. Often we fail to realize that much of this noise is self-inflicted. We say yes when we mean no, scroll mindlessly when we seek connection, and chase goals that are not even ours. The second layer of the noise is subtler, almost insidious. It's the silent comparison you make when you see someone else's highlight reel, the invisible pressure to match up, to outdo, to achieve endlessly. It's the kind of noise that doesn't shout but whispers persistently, drowning out your own voice in the process. Now imagine walking into a cluttered room, furniture misplaced, items scattered, paths obstructed. It feels overwhelming, doesn't it? Yet, if you start clearing one corner, organizing a small section, you begin to feel the space open up. Your mind works similarly. When you begin decluttering the noise in small, deliberate ways, you create mental room for clarity and peace. But clearing the noise isn't about retreating from life or isolating yourself. It's about intentional choices. It's about deciding which sounds are music to your life and which are just static. It's realizing that some demands aren't obligations and some distractions aren't worth your time. Silence, after all, isn't the absence of sound, but the presence of meaningful quiet. Modern life will not pause to accommodate your need for clarity. Advertisements will still compete for your attention, and social media will still entice you with endless scrolling. What changes is your response. You don't need to absorb everything coming your way. Instead, like a gatekeeper, you determine what crosses the threshold of your attention. The noise around us will always exist, but how much of it infiltrates your inner world is a choice. As you begin this journey of resetting your mind, remember that clarity is less about escape and more about curating what you allow in. With every step you take to quiet the external and internal clamor, you move closer to finding the stillness within, the kind that no amount of noise can ever drown out. Chapter 2. Breaking the Loop. Life often feels like a wheel spinning endlessly, propelled by habits, routines, and thought patterns that seem impossible to escape. You wake up, go through the motions, and end the day feeling as though little has changed. It's not that you lack the desire for growth or clarity. It's that the very framework of your daily life has become a loop, predictable, unyielding, and often draining. Breaking free from this cycle requires a bold confrontation with your autopilot. Start by recognizing the invisible tracks you've laid for yourself. These are the repetitive behaviors, decisions, and beliefs that dictate your actions without conscious thought. Why do you check your phone the moment you wake up? Why do certain situations trigger the same emotional responses? These patterns are not random. They're grooves worn into your mind over time, often shaped by past experiences, societal expectations, or even fear of change. Imagine walking through a dense forest along a well-trodden path. It's easy, familiar, and requires no effort to navigate. But what if that path leads nowhere? What if it loops back to the starting point every time? To find a new direction, you must step off the path. At first, it feels unnatural. Branches scratch your arms, and the terrain is uneven. This discomfort is the first sign that you're breaking the loop. The most challenging part is often identifying the moments when the loop takes hold. It's subtle, like a whisper in the background of your mind. Perhaps it's the self-doubt that arises before every new challenge, or the tendency to procrastinate on tasks that matter most. To disrupt these patterns, you need to insert a pause, not a long one, but a deliberate moment where you question your instinctive reaction. In that pause, you create space for choice. This is where real change begins, not in grand resolutions, but in micro-decisions that redirect your path. When you catch yourself falling into the same argument, or replaying the same internal monologue, ask yourself, does this serve me? Does this align with the life I want to create? These questions act as a lever, prying you away from the default settings of your mind. The next step is replacing the loop with intentional actions. The mind resists a void. If you simply try to eliminate a pattern, it will likely resurface. Instead, introduce something deliberate to take its place. If your loop involves endless scrolling on your phone, replace it with a quick walk or a journaling session. If you're stuck in a cycle of self-criticism, redirect that energy into identifying one small thing you've done well today. Breaking the loop also requires a new relationship with discomfort. The loops exist, in part, because they feel safe, even when they're not healthy. The familiar is comforting, even if it keeps you stagnant. Growth demands that you embrace uncertainty and step into the unknown. This doesn't mean taking reckless leaps, but rather trusting that discomfort is a sign you're on the right track. One of the most overlooked aspects of disrupting patterns is the environment you create around yourself. Loops thrive in environments that reinforce them. If your workspace, social circle, or daily habits perpetuate the same thoughts and behaviors, breaking free becomes an uphill battle. Change your surroundings, even in small ways. Rearrange your space, introduce elements that inspire new thinking, and surround yourself with people who challenge your status quo. Momentum builds gradually. The first break in the loop might feel insignificant. A single day where you say no to an old habit, or yes to a new opportunity. But over time, these moments accumulate, shifting the trajectory of your life. Remember, it's not about erasing the past or rewriting your entire story in one stroke. It's about taking one deliberate step, then another, until the loop loses its hold and you find yourself on a path that feels entirely your own. Chapter 3. A Room of Clarity. Imagine walking into a space that instantly soothes you. The air feels lighter, the colors are calming, and everything is in its place, not just physically but energetically. Such a space does not happen by chance. It is created with intention. And the same is true for the space within your mind. Clarity is not something you stumble upon, it's something you design, both externally and internally. To start, think of your environment as an extension of your mental state. Look around you, your home, workspace, or even your digital devices. Every item, every piece of clutter carries a weight. That unfinished book on the table whispers of tasks undone. That pile of papers signals chaos. These objects may be silent, but they contribute to the noise in your mind. Begin by stripping away what no longer serves you. This isn't about minimalism for its own sake, but about creating a space where your thoughts have room to breathe. Clearing physical clutter is only the first layer. The deeper work lies in what you allow to occupy your mental space. Just as you wouldn't permit strangers to barge into your home uninvited, why allow unproductive thoughts or external demands to take residence in your mind? Start to notice what you give your attention to. Is it news that leaves you anxious? Conversations that drain you? Tasks that pull you in 10 directions at once? These are the mental equivalents of cluttered furniture, blocking the pathways to clarity. Creating a room of clarity is not about perfection, it's about alignment. Think of it as designing a space, whether physical or mental, that reflects what matters most to you. Maybe it's a desk that inspires creativity, or a quiet corner that invites introspection. For the mind, this could mean setting boundaries around your time, saying no to distractions, or simply pausing to reconnect with your intentions. Colors, sounds, and even light have a profound effect on how you feel. In your physical space, consider how these elements influence your state of mind. Are you surrounded by harsh lighting and jarring noises, or does your space invite calm? For the mind, the equivalent is choosing the colors of your thoughts. Thoughts of gratitude and possibility are warm tones that brighten your internal space, while resentment and doubt cast shadows. One overlooked element in creating clarity is the importance of empty space. Empty corners in a room, moments of silence in your day, or gaps between thoughts. These are not voids to be filled, but opportunities for restoration. A packed schedule or a cluttered desk may look productive, but they suffocate creativity and reflection. Embrace emptiness as a necessary element of clarity. Rituals can also transform any space into a sanctuary. Lighting a candle, playing soft music, or even taking a moment to tidy up can signal to your mind that this is a place of peace. Similarly, mental rituals, such as taking a few deep breaths before starting a task or journaling at the end of the day, anchor you to clarity. Your space, both physical and mental, should feel like a refuge, not a place you need to escape from. When you begin to treat it as sacred, you stop tolerating what doesn't belong. It's not about rigid rules, but about tuning into what brings you peace and amplifies your focus. Small, deliberate changes accumulate over time, and before you know it, your room of clarity becomes not just a place but a state of being. Chapter 4. The Weight You Don't See. Not all burdens are visible. They don't announce themselves with the heft of a heavy bag or the strain of lifting something too large to carry. The heaviest weights are often the ones no one else can see, the ones you may not even recognize yourself. These are the unseen anchors that hold you back subtly and persistently until you feel stuck without even knowing why. This weight can take many forms. It might be an unresolved conflict that lingers in the back of your mind, replaying itself like an unfinished melody. It could be the expectations of others, shaping your decisions in ways that don't align with your own desires. Sometimes it's the stories you tell yourself about who you are or what you can achieve, stories written long ago by voices that no longer serve you. Carrying these invisible burdens consumes energy. Much like an app running in the background of your phone, it drains your focus, dampens your enthusiasm, and leaves you wondering why even small tasks feel monumental. To begin shedding this weight, you must first identify it. This requires more than surface-level reflection. It demands honesty and courage. Start by listening to the quiet whispers in your mind. What thoughts emerge when you're still? What feelings surface when you're alone? These are clues to the burdens you've been carrying. Perhaps it's guilt for something you did or didn't do years ago. Maybe it's resentment towards someone who hurt you or regret for a path not taken. Whatever it is, acknowledge it without judgment. These weights grow heavier in the dark. Bringing them into the light is the first step to letting them go. Some burdens come from comparison, the silent thief of joy. You measure your life against the curated images of others, believing you fall short in ways you can't quite articulate. This weight is especially insidious because it shifts and changes, leaving you chasing an ever-moving target. To release it, you must turn inward, anchoring your sense of worth to something unshakable, your own values, strengths, and purpose. There's also the weight of what if. What if you fail? What if you succeed but lose everything that matters? This fear of the unknown keeps you clinging to what feels safe, even if it's no longer serving you. But the irony is that carrying this weight often prevents you from stepping into the very freedom you crave. The only way to release it is to trust, not in a guarantee of success, but in your ability to navigate whatever comes. Some weights are relational, tied to the people around you. These may be invisible agreements you've made to always be the one who says yes, the one who fixes everything, or the one who never shows vulnerability. These roles, while often born of good intentions, can become prisons. Releasing them doesn't mean abandoning responsibility or connection. It means setting boundaries that honor your own well-being as much as others. Forgiveness is another powerful way to shed hidden burdens. This doesn't mean condoning what has hurt you, or pretending it didn't happen. It means freeing yourself from the grip of anger and bitterness, which often weigh heavier on the one holding them than on the one they're directed toward. Forgiveness is not for the other person. It's for you, a way to reclaim energy that has been trapped in the past. Finally, there's the weight of your own expectations, the relentless drive to be perfect, to achieve more, to always be in control. This weight is often self-imposed, driven by a belief that you are only as valuable as your latest accomplishment. To let it go, you must redefine success on your own terms. Sometimes the most profound achievement is simply learning to rest, to be present, and to accept yourself as you are, not as you think you should be. As you begin to release these invisible weights, you may feel lighter, freer, and more capable of embracing the moments that truly matter. The process is not instantaneous, nor is it always linear, but with each burden you set down, you create more space for joy, clarity, and the life you were meant to live. Chapter 5. Rewiring for Simplicity. Simplicity isn't the absence of effort, it's the deliberate choice to focus on what truly matters. In a world overflowing with options, demands, and endless noise, simplicity becomes not just a preference but a necessity. However, achieving simplicity isn't about stripping everything away. It's about rewiring your thinking to naturally prioritize clarity over chaos, purpose over distraction. The first step in this rewiring process is learning to embrace stillness. In the rush to keep up with life's pace, we often mistake busyness for productivity. But in moments of stillness, clarity begins to surface. These pauses are not about doing nothing. They are about creating space for intention to emerge. When you allow your mind to rest, it can untangle the web of competing thoughts, making it easier to identify what truly deserves your focus. The second step is to challenge the belief that more is always better. More options, more commitments, more possessions. These don't necessarily lead to more happiness. In fact, they often lead to decision fatigue, stress, and a sense of being overwhelmed. Rewiring your thinking means shifting from a mindset of accumulation to one of discernment. It's not about scarcity, but about curating a life that feels meaningful and manageable. Start small. Look at the commitments on your calendar, the goals you've set, or even the items on your desk. Ask yourself, does this add value to my life? Value doesn't always mean productivity or financial gain. It can mean joy, peace, or personal growth. If something doesn't align with your values, consider letting it go. A powerful technique for rewiring is the practice of deliberate focus. This isn't just about avoiding distractions. It's about immersing yourself fully in one thing at a time. When your mind stops jumping from task to task, you'll find that even complex challenges become more manageable. The practice of single tasking, as opposed to multitasking, trains your brain to appreciate the depth of experience over the breadth of activity. Language also plays a significant role in shaping your mindset. Notice how often you say things like, "I have to" or "I should." These phrases suggest obligation rather than choice, creating mental clutter that weighs you down. Reframe your internal dialogue to reflect intention. "I choose to" or "I want to." This simple shift can transform how you approach your responsibilities, making them feel less burdensome and more aligned with your goals. Another essential element in rewiring for simplicity is learning to release the need for constant control. The drive to predict and plan every outcome creates unnecessary stress, filling your mind with what-ifs and contingencies. Instead, practice trust. Not blind trust in everything working out perfectly, but trust in your ability to adapt to whatever comes. Letting go of control doesn't mean being passive. It means recognizing that not everything needs to be managed by you. Visualization can also aid in rewiring your thinking. Picture your ideal life, not in terms of material success, but in terms of how it feels. Is it calm, focused, joyful? Use this vision as a guide when making decisions. If something doesn't contribute to that ideal, question its place in your life. This technique helps your brain associate simplicity with positive outcomes, reinforcing the habit of intentional living. Lastly, gratitude plays a vital role in cultivating simplicity. When you take time to appreciate what you already have, the desire for more diminishes. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present, rewiring your brain to find contentment in the now, rather than constantly chasing the next thing. Rewiring for simplicity isn't about adopting a single technique. It's about a series of small shifts that, over time, transform how you think, act, and live. It's a practice, a way of training your mind to see beauty in less, fulfillment in clarity, and freedom in letting go. Chapter 6. Moments that matter. Life unfolds in moments, some fleeting, some monumental, but not all carry the same weight. Yet we often scatter our attention across so many trivialities that we miss the ones that hold the most meaning. Identifying and cherishing these moments requires more than awareness. It demands a recalibration of how you approach time, energy, and presence. It begins with recognizing that not all tasks, conversations, or experiences are created equal. While the demands of modern life urge you to prioritize speed and productivity, these values rarely align with what truly makes life meaningful. The moments that matter are rarely the loudest or the most urgent. They're often quiet, understated, and easy to overlook unless you're paying close attention. Consider the power of being fully present. When you give your undivided attention to a moment, it transforms. A mundane conversation with a loved one becomes an opportunity to connect. A walk in the park reveals details you've never noticed before. Even the act of savoring a cup of coffee can become a small but profound ritual. Presence doesn't add anything to the moment itself. It amplifies what's already there. To uncover these moments, start by reflecting on what truly resonates with you. Think about the times when you felt most alive, most connected, or most at peace. These experiences are like breadcrumbs leading you to the kind of moments worth cultivating. They often share common threads, an alignment with your values, a sense of authenticity, or a feeling of growth. One of the most transformative realizations is that the moments that matter are not always grand or extraordinary. They can be as simple as a shared laugh, a moment of silence in the midst of chaos, or the feeling of sunlight on your skin. The key is learning to recognize their significance without comparing them to societal standards of importance or achievement. Energy is another critical factor. The moments that deserve your attention are those that feed your soul rather than deplete it. This requires discernment. Ask yourself, does this experience energize me or drain me? Does it bring clarity or confusion? When you align your energy with what nourishes you, you naturally gravitate toward the moments that hold the most meaning. There's also an art to letting go of what doesn't matter. This doesn't mean dismissing responsibilities or obligations, but rather releasing the grip of distractions that pull you away from what's important. The constant pings of notifications, the pressure to always say yes, and the endless pursuit of perfection all dilute your ability to focus on what truly matters. Simplifying your commitments creates space for the moments that do. Learning to cherish these moments involves more than just recognizing them. It's about creating an internal environment where they can thrive. Gratitude plays a significant role here. When you appreciate a moment, you anchor it in your memory, giving it a weight that lingers long after it has passed. Gratitude turns fleeting experiences into lasting treasures. Perspective also shapes how you value moments. Often we chase the idea of someday, believing that happiness lies in the future when we've achieved a goal or solved a problem. But the most meaningful moments rarely wait for the perfect circumstances. They exist here and now, woven into the fabric of daily life. Recognizing this allows you to find beauty in imperfection and joy in the ordinary. The moments that matter are also deeply personal. What resonates with one person may not resonate with another, and that's the beauty of it. This isn't about following a universal formula. It's about tuning into your own rhythm, values, and desires. It's about giving yourself permission to prioritize what feels meaningful to you, regardless of how it looks to others. Finally, cherish these moments by honoring their impermanence. The awareness that a moment won't last forever doesn't diminish its value. It enhances it. It reminds you to be present, to savor, and to fully immerse yourself in what's unfolding. In this way, even the simplest experiences can become profound. Chapter 7. The Mindful Reset Ritual. Every day, your mind gathers fragments of thoughts, emotions, and experiences, some purposeful, others entirely incidental. Left unchecked, this mental accumulation turns into clutter, dulling clarity and draining energy. A mindful reset ritual acts as a gentle pause, a moment to clear the slate and reconnect with a sharper, more intentional version of yourself. The key to an effective reset ritual lies in simplicity and consistency. It's not about grand gestures or elaborate routines. It's about creating small, deliberate practices that realign your focus and recharge your mental state. Think of it as a cleansing breath for your brain, a chance to let go of what's unnecessary and make space for what truly matters. Begin with the first moments of your day. Upon waking, resist the pull of devices, notifications, and the rush to dive into tasks. Instead, allow yourself a quiet moment of presence. Sit up, breathe deeply, and observe the sensations of the morning, the light filtering through your window, the sound of your breath, the stillness of the world waking up. This practice anchors your day in awareness rather than reactivity, setting the tone for a more centered state of mind. Movement can also be a powerful element of a reset ritual. A short walk, a few minutes of stretching, or even a moment of standing in an open space with your arms wide can awaken your body and mind together. The connection between movement and mental clarity is profound. As your body moves, your thoughts often find a natural flow, loosening the knots of overthinking. Incorporating deliberate silence into your day is equally transformative. Silence isn't merely the absence of noise, it's a fertile ground where clarity can emerge. Whether it's sitting quietly in meditation, listening to the rhythm of your breath, or simply stepping outside to observe the stillness of nature, these moments of quietude create an inner sanctuary. In silence, your mind begins to filter out the noise, leaving behind a distilled sense of clarity. Another essential practice is the act of mindful journaling. This isn't about recording every detail of your day or listing tasks. It's about giving your thoughts a space to breathe. Write down whatever surfaces, questions, frustrations, hopes, or random musings, without judgment or structure. This act of externalizing your inner dialogue frees up mental space and allows insights to emerge naturally. Gratitude is another cornerstone of a mindful reset. Each day, take a moment to reflect on what you're thankful for, no matter how small or ordinary it might seem. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, breaking the loop of dissatisfaction that often clouds the mind. It's a simple practice, but one that rewires your perspective over time, fostering a mindset of contentment and resilience. Mindful resets also benefit from intentional pauses throughout the day. When you find yourself overwhelmed or distracted, take a moment to step back. Close your eyes, inhale deeply, and exhale slowly. This small act of grounding interrupts the cycle of mental chatter, providing a reset in real time. These micro-pauses accumulate, creating a rhythm of clarity that carries you through even the busiest of days. Evening rituals hold their own significance in the mindful reset process. Before sleep, disconnect from the barrage of external stimuli, screens, news, or unresolved work tasks. Instead, engage in activities that calm your mind and signal rest. Light a candle, sip a warm drink, or read something uplifting. These gentle acts help transition your brain from the intensity of the day to the restorative quiet of the night. An overlooked but essential aspect of a reset ritual is how you manage your environment. Cluttered spaces often mirror cluttered minds. Dedicate a moment to tidying up your immediate surroundings, a desk, a countertop, or even a single drawer. This small act of physical orderliness can create a surprising ripple effect, fostering a sense of control and mental ease. Ultimately, the power of a mindful reset ritual lies in its adaptability. There is no one-size-fits-all approach, and the practices that resonate with one person may differ for another. What matters is the intention behind it, to pause, to recalibrate, and to create a pocket of clarity in the rush of daily life. In these moments, you reclaim your mental space, not as an indulgence but as a necessity for navigating the world with focus and purpose. Chapter 8. Building your sanctuary. Creating a sanctuary isn't about finding a distant, idyllic place. It's about carving out spaces, within your mind and in your environment, that nourish and protect your mental clarity. A sanctuary, in its most profound sense, is a space where peace is cultivated, where distractions dissolve, and where you can reconnect with your deeper sense of purpose. It's a refuge, not just from the external noise, but from the chaos of your own thoughts. The first step to building your sanctuary lies in understanding the power of your environment. We are constantly influenced by the spaces we inhabit, whether consciously or unconsciously. A cluttered room often mirrors a cluttered mind. To create a sanctuary, begin by curating your immediate surroundings. Keep only those objects that bring you joy, function, or inspiration. Clear out what no longer serves you. The space around you should reflect your intentions, becoming an extension of your mindset. This physical act of clearing creates a ripple effect, soothing the mind and encouraging the flow of mental clarity. Beyond just the physical, there's the emotional and psychological space you occupy. Your thoughts are often shaped by the atmosphere you create within. If your inner world is filled with negativity or distractions, even the most beautiful physical space won't serve as a sanctuary. The internal sanctuary you build must be one of awareness. Start by noticing the patterns of your thoughts. When do they wander aimlessly? When are they filled with tension? When do they spiral into negativity? These are the places that need your attention. To create mental space, you must learn to guard your thoughts as you would a precious treasure. To do this, start by grounding yourself in the present moment. Practice mindfulness as a way of anchoring your mind in the here and now, not in regrets about the past or fears about the future. Each day, take a few moments to sit quietly, just observing your breath, allowing your thoughts to drift without judgment. This simple practice strengthens your ability to reset when mental clutter begins to pile up. As you get better at living in the present, you create a buffer against the internal chaos that often invades our minds. Another aspect of your sanctuary involves the people you surround yourself with. Relationships, whether with family, friends, or colleagues, play a major role in your mental environment. Consider the impact of your connections. Are you surrounded by people who support your well-being, who encourage your growth, or do you find yourself drained by the negativity of others? Building a sanctuary means creating boundaries. It's not about shutting people out, but about consciously choosing those whose energy uplifts you. These relationships provide nourishment, stability, and a sense of peace that contribute directly to the tranquility of your mental space. Beyond people, what you consume, mentally, emotionally, and physically shapes your sanctuary. The books you read, the media you absorb, the conversations you engage in, each of these influences your inner environment. If you're constantly filling your mind with negativity or drama, it becomes difficult to maintain clarity. Your sanctuary is reinforced by the intentional choices you make in what you allow into your life. Choose what fuels your growth, what brings you joy, what challenges your thinking in constructive ways. By being intentional with your consumption, you gradually replace the noise with more meaningful input. The ritual of self-care also plays a crucial role in building your sanctuary. This is where you tend to your mind, body, and soul, not just as a routine but as a sacred practice. Whether through exercise, creative expression, rest, or nourishment, self-care replenishes the energy that sustains your mental clarity. It reminds you that your well-being isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Building your sanctuary means prioritizing these acts of care, making them non-negotiable parts of your life. Internally, your sanctuary is built through the practices that foster inner peace. Meditation, journaling, deep breathing, or simply sitting in silence, these rituals provide moments of stillness that nourish your mental clarity. It's about carving out time in your day to recharge and renew your energy. These practices don't require hours of your day. Just a few minutes of intentional stillness can make a profound difference. They protect your peace and ensure that when life's inevitable stresses come, you have a foundation of calm to return to. Externally, your sanctuary expands as you create boundaries with the world. This might mean limiting your exposure to constant notifications, protecting your time by learning to say no to things that don't align with your values, or creating physical spaces in your home or office that encourage focus and reflection. It's about taking control of your environment and protecting it from anything that disturbs your peace. Your sanctuary isn't static, it evolves with you. As you grow, so too will your needs. What nourished you yesterday may not have the same effect tomorrow. Be open to adjusting and reshaping your sanctuary. This flexibility ensures that your space, both mental and physical, remains a true reflection of where you are in life, offering support as you navigate new challenges. In the end, a sanctuary is a deliberate creation. It doesn't just appear by chance, it's a space you build with intention every day. By curating your physical surroundings, protecting your mental environment, and nourishing your body and soul, you craft a space that sustains your mental clarity. In this space, peace becomes not an occasional gift, but a constant companion, supporting you in living a life aligned with your true purpose. Chapter 9. The Fresh Start Blueprint. A fresh start is more than just a clean slate. It's the beginning of a life reimagined, a chance to realign yourself with what truly matters. It's a deliberate act of stepping away from the patterns that no longer serve you, and embracing a new direction, rooted in clarity, purpose, and intention. This blueprint is not about simply changing your surroundings. It's about reshaping the way you think, feel, and live. To begin, a fresh start requires that you confront your past without being defined by it. It's not about erasing what has come before, but rather learning from it and choosing not to let it dictate the future. Often, we carry the weight of past mistakes, regrets, and failures, which keeps us stuck in cycles of unfulfilled potential. Releasing this weight isn't always easy. It requires understanding that your past actions do not have to govern your present and future. The key is to acknowledge them, learn the lessons they offer, and then let go of any emotional attachments that hinder your growth. In this fresh start, you must also let go of attachments to things that no longer align with who you are today. This is a process of self-rediscovery, understanding what matters most to you in this moment. It's easy to fall into the trap of doing things out of habit, out of obligation, or out of external pressure. But in creating a new life, you must be intentional about what you choose to invest your energy in. Begin by identifying what truly brings you fulfillment, joy, and peace. Let go of commitments and habits that drain your energy or distract you from what you value most. This could mean saying goodbye to toxic relationships, outdated routines, or environments that no longer feel supportive of who you want to become. A fresh start is also about shifting the way you approach your goals and dreams. It's easy to become overwhelmed by the sheer volume of what we feel we should accomplish. We chase after success, approval, or the idea of having it all, only to find ourselves burnt out or disconnected from our true purpose. In building a refreshed, purpose-driven life, the first step is to slow down and clarify your vision. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most, with focus and intent. Break down your vision into manageable pieces, creating a plan that feels both challenging and achievable. Make it personal and meaningful, not a checklist of external expectations. When your goals align with your deepest desires, motivation becomes a natural byproduct. Another crucial aspect of a fresh start is redefining your relationship with time. Too often, we allow time to slip away, consumed by distractions and demands that don't contribute to our greater goals. A fresh start means embracing time as a valuable resource. Begin by designing your days with intention. Prioritize what's truly important to you, and let go of the time-wasting habits that fill your schedule, but not your soul. Use tools like time blocking or the Pomodoro technique to ensure that your energy is directed toward activities that serve your long-term vision. Learning to say no to distractions is just as important as saying yes to opportunities. Every moment is an opportunity to invest in yourself, and a fresh start is about using that time wisely, with purpose and self-compassion. Simplicity plays a vital role in this blueprint for a fresh start. In a world that encourages overconsumption of things, of information, of experiences, finding simplicity is a radical act of self-care. A simple life doesn't mean depriving yourself, but rather choosing what adds value and removing what does not. Simplifying your life creates space for what truly matters. It reduces stress, improves focus, and allows you to direct your energy where it is most needed. This simplicity extends to your thoughts as well. Clear your mental clutter by simplifying your internal dialogue. Let go of negative self-talk and replace it with affirmations that align with your fresh start. Your thoughts shape your reality, and when you simplify them, you create room for new possibilities. This fresh start isn't just about creating a new routine. It's about developing a mindset that supports it. It's about training yourself to see opportunities, not obstacles, and to respond to challenges with resilience. Embrace the idea that you don't need to have everything figured out before taking the first step. Each small action you take will build upon the next. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment or ideal conditions, start with what you have right now. Trust that the universe will meet you halfway when you make the decision to move forward, even in uncertainty. At the heart of this fresh start is self-compassion. Too often we demand perfection from ourselves and punish ourselves when we fall short. A fresh start is about embracing imperfection as part of the journey. Be kind to yourself as you build the life you desire. Each step is progress, even if it doesn't always look or feel perfect. Celebrate the small wins and treat yourself with the same kindness and patience you would offer to a friend embarking on their own journey. A fresh start is not a one-time event, but a continuous practice. It's about making decisions every day that reflect your commitment to living a life that aligns with your values. It's about reimagining your future, not just by changing external circumstances, but by transforming your mindset, your habits, and your approach to the world. Through consistent reflection and conscious action, you design a life that is meaningful, grounded, and filled with clarity. This blueprint is not a destination but a path, a way of living that you can return to again and again whenever you need a reset. Conclusion. You've come this far, haven't you? Through the noise, the clutter, the distractions, you've taken the steps to clear your mind and reclaim your focus. It wasn't easy. Nothing worth having ever is. But now you stand on the other side, with a mind that feels lighter, sharper, and more in tune with the life you want to live. The chaos that once held you captive has lost its grip, and you've learned the art of stepping back, resetting, and intentionally crafting the life you deserve. But this isn't the end. It's only the beginning of a new chapter. The tools, practices, and rituals you've discovered are now part of your daily rhythm. They're the foundation for the life you're creating, but maintaining that clarity requires constant attention. Just like tending to a garden, every day offers you the choice to reset, to choose simplicity, to let go of what no longer serves you. You may encounter setbacks, distractions, and moments of doubt, but now you know that it's possible to return to a place of peace. You know that it's not about perfection, but about progress. It's about showing up for yourself and your life in a way that feels intentional, meaningful, and full of purpose. So as you close this chapter, remember, the power to declutter your mind, refresh your brain, and live with focus and clarity is always within you. It's not just something you do once, but a way of being that grows stronger with each step. You've created the space for something new, something better. Now go live it.